Hey guys, it's Hein again. In our last video, we created a recruitment agent and it was linked to some SharePoint information, some SharePoint data, and we left it at the point where we were going to publish this agent for consumption. I want to sort of look at channels today and understand what we have from a publishing opportunity. Under my channels, in my agent, I will see I've got Microsoft Teams and Office 365 Copilot, or Microsoft 365 Copilot, and SharePoint, right? We're not going to do any of the other channels today. We're going to focus on these two, as I do think those are going to be the prominent use cases. Now, what we want to do today, if you publish this and you expose this to a different user, the first thing that user will get is you do not have access to use this agent. So I am going to just start us off by publishing something to an individual user, and then we'll take a look at what is actually happening behind the scenes. Right, so for the purpose of this demo, I've created an agent, just a sharing agent, nothing really connected to it. I have already published it once, and I've added the Teams and Microsoft 365 Copilot channels. This just allows us to share the agent, and we'll take a look at what happens in the back when we actually try and provision this agent. So there's something that happens in Intra, and subsequently something that happens in sort of the Teams admin area as well. When publishing an agent, it's important to understand that stuff like this little short description, the icon, these are the pieces of information that are exposed to both the administrators and users when we're publishing an agent. So when they are going through, all the agents built by your organization, it's probably better to not have it just being built by Copilot. It could be something like this is a simple recruitment agent or a people leader assistant, and be a bit more verbose in your long description. Under more settings, this is going to be particularly important in a multi-agency environment, or if you are a consultancy, something along those lines. This is going to be particularly important just to make it clear where the app comes from, what the privacy statement is, etc. I'm not going to tinker too much with this now. I think that's pretty clear. I'm just going to go back. And what I want to take a look at is availability options. So if I right now copy this link, it shouldn't work for anyone. Because right now, no one in my organization has access. It's just myself. And I can go and publish this to everyone in the org. We'll take a look at that in a second. If I had to switch screens quickly and just go to the consuming user, if I paste this link into Teams, use the web app, it might take a little while for the app to register, for Teams to know about the app. So we're going to take a look at what this experience looks like, from raw building an app, publishing it, not having to talk to IT. So we want to take a look at what it really looks like from a developer or citizen developer experience. Okay. You can see there that I don't have access to the app. That's exactly what we expected to see. So if I go back to my developer screen and I add John Smith, who's the other user, or John Doe, and I can share the app with him, it is important that I need to republish this now. Because that has caught me out a few times in the past already. I'm going to publish that, and I'm going to give it a few seconds just to finish its publishing. Right, that took about 5 seconds or so. I'm going to go to Teams, and under availability options, I'm going to go and copy the link again and switch to John Doe's screen. And I'm going to try and install this again. So what we're hoping to see now is that I've got access to the app and I can install the agent without too much of a problem. Right, so it did not do exactly what I wanted, but I want to show you guys what it looks like, because we're finding out what this looks like together. it sort of pops up and then it goes away. Now, I think this might be a team specific thing. It might be because I'm using the browser client. So if this doesn't work, we're going to switch over and take a look at how do I get people to open this in Copilot chat. Right, it just decides not to turn on at all. All right, so we'll leave it there, but that would be the experience of sharing it to Teams. So I'm going to quickly bounce back to the developer screen and I'm going to show you how do we actually get a link for someone to open this in Copilot chat. If I go back, as the developer, I've got the option to see the agent in Microsoft 365. This actually opens it up in the M365 Copilot chat interface in the web browser, which I honestly wish Microsoft would give us the option without having to go through a bit of a hack. So I'm going to open up that link and I'm going to quickly copy it from my browser as it opens up. Right, so we'll see a little screen pop up over here asking us to install the agent. So even as the developer, this is a way for you to get the agent into your Copilot chat experience quickly. So I'm going to bounce to John Doe's screen and we're going to open up the link that I just copied. And we can see I can add the agent and then it'll pop up on the left hand side. So that's exactly what the experience we want to see. Okay, agent's installed. I can start using it. Everything's great. Now the question is, what happens in the background? So everything we do in Copilot Studio, it's not magic. It's stuff that's existed in the past. So Microsoft's done a pretty good job of leveraging existing infrastructure. What happens in the back in the scenario we looked at today is that the app is registered as an M3 as an app registration in Entra. It doesn't have anything particularly special, no API permissions or anything that we should know of. The important things that I looked at would be to be understanding what the authentication looks like, which it doesn't have, which is fine. And importantly, what API permissions. This is particularly important because when you get into anyone that is reasonably serious about their security, these are the kind of questions that they're going to ask. And then when we expose, well, it's not really doing anything. It's just a way for the app to have an identity in the tenant. The app or the agent in its current shape also gets added to the default Power Platform solution in your default environment. So we are going to take a look at how we can change that because that's probably not good practice for us to do long term. But we're getting through this together. And finally, when we're in the M365 Admin Center, we can see under Shared Agents, there's our demo sharing agent. It's built for Copilot and Teams. It was created by myself, and the publisher is your developer name. So, as I said in the initial sort of section, when you publish your app, be articulate about where it's coming from, those kind of things. Over here we can also go and block this app, which means anybody that has access to it will stop. So if we go and block that right now, block the agent. Okay, so we've been busy for a little while now. I'm going to leave it there for today. Tomorrow we'll take a look at how do we expose the agent to the rest of the organization and what does that look like from a team administration perspective. And then we'll start getting into more of the devy stuff, like how do I put it in a solution file, and we'll start exploring some of the more exciting features like adding actions and triggers and those kind of things. See you next time.